package it, what's going to help the listing agent. You got to understand, put yourself in their shoes a little bit. So they get this hot property, and all of a sudden they got 42 offers coming in. All right, guess what? 38 of them go in the trash if they're not following the instructions that are specifically labeled because they just don't have time. All right, I'm going to deal with the people that are going to, hey, the bank wants this, 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 and this. If it doesn't have this, this, and this, and this, you're gone, you're gone, you're gone. Okay? You're out, you're out, you're out.
November 19th at what time?
November 19th, that's a Wednesday, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll make sure I get the date because I sent the date out wrong. Reminded. November 19th, Wednesday, 9:30
A.M.
a.m.
There's the landlord-tenant law thing here.
You don't landlord tenant law. Go read the statute.
I don't. We had it up yesterday.
Hire somebody.
I'll be out of town.
What's that?
I'll be out of town.
Oh, okay. You know what? We're going to record that one too, right, Jim?
Yes.
All right. So
Okay.
we record all this stuff. If you want a copy of it, you'll be getting an email. When's that email going out to register, Jim? Do we know?
I was waiting till all these finished,
Yeah.
and then just so I didn't confuse people on dates
Yeah.
and times, and then now that these are over, so probably tomorrow.
Right.
Because you have the last ones tomorrow, Jackson.
And you know what? We got a really cool little video promoting that one too.
Dude.
All right, for this next bank-owned property, so you'll like that as well. So, so mark that down. In addition to that, we're also bringing an attorney, David Rankin. He's the lead attorney for GTAR, but he's going to come in and talk about a lot of the clauses that are in these bank-owned properties that affect your buyers. And here's what we do with banking. Here's what I know. Again, I told you I know realtors, right? Here's what you do. Okay, look, there's the contract. It's 22 pages. It's the bank's contract. If you don't agree with anything in there, too bad, because they won't sell it to you unless you sign it. You slide it across the table to them, all right? I get that, but there are some significant differences in a typical FAR contract and that contract, and that, when I say that contract, I know every bank has their own contract, right? But there are a lot of typical clauses that every bank puts in there, down to the type of deed that's transferred, and what does that mean to my buyer? We need to be a little educated on that, all right? At least sensible enough to say, hey, look, this is a little confusing, a little bit different. You may want to check with your own legal counsel before we even get to the point of signing this one, because I know the FAR, all right? I don't know this one like the back of my hand, you know what I mean? And so he's going to be there to answer a ton of questions as well. Matter of fact, on the sign-up, don't you think, Jim, don't you have a spot where they can?
There is a spot at the very bottom when you sign up. It says, "What's your biggest question?" or "What question would you like to hear covered?" So you can do a couple if you want to. It's whatever.
So we'll make sure that the attorney.
That way
has
we're gonna
that.
once I get those all put together, I'm gonna give them to them so they can review them, so they make sure they cover that kind of stuff.
Perfect. Awesome. Good deal. All right. So got that down. Awesome. 100K. This is our last meeting for 100K for this session. All right. We usually do them in 7 or 8 session bursts. All right, this is our last one. It's a good one. If you haven't been to one, that's okay, because we're going to button it up today. We're going to kind of really just kind of go through some things. It's of how we structured it, and we'll do a little bit of review. All right, just as a reminder, because quite frankly, there's one slide on here that I firmly believe that if you ran your business the way that one slide did, it's like 6 points. You're done. All right. Now the key is, in our 100K club, we have 3 I's. All right, ideas. All right, inspiration. And the third one is what? Implementation. Because here's the thing, I told you I know realtors, right? I know you guys. Let's go to the next seminar. That's great. All right, got it. Here we go. And then we go do nothing. All right? And then there's another idea over there. Let's go to that next seminar. We go to seminar, and we never implement anything. So you got to get to the point where you're actually doing it. One of our favorite phrases the 100Kers who've been here understand this phrase. To know and not to do is not to know. Okay? So if you're not going to do it, why bother knowing it? Okay? Don't spend your time at another seminar if your plan is not to implement. Okay? Because unimplemented plans do, and here are our excuses, right? Well, I'm going to wait till everything's just right and everything's perfect and I've got myself this, that, and the other, and everything's just hunky-dory. George Patton says this: a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan never executed. Okay? We're waiting for the perfect plan, and then we end up never executing, never implementing. All right? So go out there and do some things. Okay, so here's what we decided to do from early on. The The very first thing we did is I painted this rosy picture about loving the real estate business, netting $100,000 a year, gaining control over your time, not having you controlling the transaction versus the transaction controlling you, not being a slave to your phone, right? We talked about answering the phone at 3 a.m., okay, like that one guy wanted you to do, all right? You don't have to do real estate 24/7, right? You can actually gain control of what you're doing. So I painted this rosy picture, and then the next slide was, yeah, that's great, Bobby, you don't know my life, right? Okay, that sounds great, but how are we going to do it? Well, here's how we decide we're going to do it. We're going to study those who've done it, okay, and learn from them, and we're going to learn from others in the room. The group dynamic that occurs in these 100Ks. By the way, we teach these twice a year. So look, usually we take a couple months off around the holidays, then come either late January, early February, we'll relaunch again. We usually teach them couple sessions here in Tampa, one in Altamar, one here, a couple in Orlando, and a couple in Jacksonville as well. So we're kind of roaming around doing it, so they're all available to you. Learning from others in the room. The group dynamic is probably the best part of this whole thing. Because I don't have all the answers. I'm here to tell you, I've sold real estate for 20 years. I don't sell much real estate anymore. So I'm going to rely heavily on the people in the room. All right? But I can tell you what worked for me when I was doing it. So that's what we do. We talk about that, we dialogue, and we learn from each other. Our culture, our vibe, if you like it, I heard the word vibe the other day. Never mind, that's a better word than culture. All right? Our vibe in our office is, you know what? There's plenty of real estate for everybody. All right? And the way we teach this is not, if I give up a secret, then it's going to be someone's going to take business from me. There's so much business for us to do. If you woke up with every day with your life on purpose, you wouldn't know what to do with all the business you had. Okay, flat out, it just is. So we teach you to live that way. All right. We're going to focus on income-producing activities and not waste time on stuff that doesn't matter. We're going to learn to outsource stuff that doesn't matter. All right. We're going to hire out non-income-producing activity. If it's not producing direct income, if I could get it done for $12 an hour, I shouldn't be doing it. All right, flat out. And you're the same way. All right. If you can hire somebody at $12 an hour as an independent contractor, without violating employment law that we talked about in the last session, all right, then you're good to go, okay? We're going to learn from our mistakes, and I love this one because that implies what? We're going to make mistakes. And how do you make mistakes? You do something, right, okay? We love mistakes. We can always clean up stuff later. One of my favorite proverbs is, where there are no oxen, the stable is clean, all right? We all like things nice and tidy and everything cleaned up, stable. Well, guess what? When that proverb was written back in Babylonian biblical times, all right, wealth was livestock. All right, that's how you knew how wealthy you were. And the proverb says, well, if you don't want any wealth, all right, that's cool, but you have a nice, neat stable, all right, that's cool. But when you have wealth, when you have livestock, then stuff tends to come out the backside. Okay, so sometimes you have messy transactions. One of my favorite things is I'll see agents around our office, right? And they'll say, how's it going? Oh, seems like every deal has issues. I say, great. I say, what? I said, great. I said, well, what are you talking? You've been out of this way too long, Bob. You're one of those brokers that doesn't remember what it's like. You know, I said, no. All right, I remember what it's like. But the reason it's great is because if this was easy, why would they pay us 6%? Why would the public, you wouldn't. If I can sell my car without paying a car broker, I'm going to sell my own car, right? So when a problem arises, that's your chance to step up and say, I'm the knight in shining armor, all right? Here's my chance. Don't worry, don't panic, I got this. My favorite lines I use all the time, all right? You want to calm people down? I got this, right? So when the house doesn't appraise, if you're running around panicking in front of your client, all right, that doesn't instill a whole lot of confidence in you, all right? So instead you say, don't worry about this. We'll figure it out. There's a solution. We'll get it, all right? I'm not saying it's going to be perfect. We're going to figure it out, but stay calm. It's not your job. It's my job. I'll help you work through this. We'll figure it out. I got this. So then go to the cocktail party, and they're talking to somebody else who's buying a house, and their house, my house didn't appraise either. My realtor freaked out. They were like jumping on the table. Oh, my God, what are we going to do? How am I going to pay my mortgage? There goes my commission, right? That's just what the buyer wants to hear, right? Okay? It's like, oh my God, it's all about me. So instead, say, hey, you know what? You got it. Really? Your realtor? Yeah, my house is appraised. My realtor says we're going to figure something out. All their name. I need their car. I need someone who's going to stay calm in this midst of the storm, right? So thank God for problems. When problems arise, just say, you know what, that's cool, all right? It's my chance to shine. I got this, all right? Because if we didn't have problems, the clients wouldn't need us, all right? It wouldn't, be able to do that. We're going to grow personally. I'm a firm believer that all the stuff that sales is all about personality, all right? That you've got to be the type of people that attract business. You don't want to chase business, you attract business. And that's what this whole 100K is all about. Yes, ma'am?
I kind of put that out after, the first time I heard that. And I think that following Saturday, somebody rang my doorbell. I walked out, they're like, "Are you Pat?" Yeah. Well, I was just driving around the neighborhood. I really want to buy here. I talked to somebody, and she said, "Come see you." I'm like, okay. And when the universe goes, ding dong.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay. And I've been doing that, saying that line about attracting somewhere, someone in my.
The Rainmaker's affirmation. Right.
And I was like, okay, universe, am I supposed to be doing this? Ding dong.
There. Confirmation. Yeah. So when business rings your doorbell, that's a good sign. All right. And it does, because you're just out there and you're just making people know. And what we're going to teach you, I'm going to show you. If you guys haven't read, you guys that haven't been to 100K, I'm going to give you a book, and that you need to read. It'll change your life. Okay, really well. So. All right, we're going to feed off the synergy in the room, because what happens is when we have assignments and things are getting done, we're supposed to write power notes. We'll talk about that in a second. What's a power note? And all of a sudden someone says, "I wrote 20 power notes and I got 3 responses, and these people want to come." And next thing you know, their aunt's moving to town, and I'm like, "Crap, I didn't do my power notes." And then, so there's that, you got to bone up a little bit. It raises the, hair on the back of your neck a little bit. And you say, "Man, maybe I should do that." All right, so there's synergy in the room that occurs when you're doing it. You live in accountability. That's the other thing. All right? Right now, if you were going to be accountable to yourself, you already would be. All right? It's facts. All right? You got to have an accountability partner who's going to not listen to your bull crap, not blow smoke up your backside. "Oh, that's okay. I know. Oh, I know. Dancing with the Stars was on last night, so yeah, I had to watch that too." All right? I know, and that's fine. All right? DVR it, but don't watch Dancing with the Stars all you want. But don't come to me and say I didn't get my stuff done because I had to go see which rose was going to be given to who on the Bachelorette or whatever. Okay? Okay? That's not what we want to hear. You can like that show all you want, but make some commitments in your life, all right? Okay? You can't just expect stuff to just fall out of the earth. Okay, yeah, stuff fell out of someone rang her doorbell, but because she put it out there early, she planted the seed earlier. All right? It wasn't because she was in there, doing nothing. All right, live a disciplined life. There is freedom and structure. That's one of our other favorite terms around here. It sounds oxymoronic, right? But there actually is freedom. You would appreciate this, right? The structure of a well-designed office can provide so much freedom. The structure of a well-designed day, okay, lived on purpose, mapped out, decided where you're going to be, when you're going to return phone calls. You're not going to be a slave and jump every time it rings, bings, dings, or flings, right? Because that's what we do. Our phones now sneak in, chime us when dinner's ready. Okay, it's just, put that thing away. Don't become a slave to that thing. Control it. When am I going to check it? I'm going to check it at 4:15. All right?
Well, freedom and structure, that's kind of my logo, is you can't succeed if you're not organized.
It's true.
I mean, if you're not organized, forget it, because nothing's going to fall in place.
That's right. Yeah. And realistically, and whatever you want to call it, karma-wise, all right, the stars know that you're unorganized, so why would they throw more business at you if you can't handle it? Because you're freaking out with one deal. Why would we give you 8? Right? All right? So you show yourself that you can control. Too much is given, much is expected. All right? And the good steward in the Bible who took care of the talents got more. All right? Didn't have to wait around and get things done. That's awesome. Consistently evaluate progress. One of my favorite things to do. Remember we showed the slide of the trip to the moon? Right? And that if we wait too long to make an adjustment, here's what I know. Let's say, all right, your goal, we're going to talk about goals here in a second. But let's say your goal was to make 4 contacts a week. All right? 4 new contacts a week. Cool. So you decide that means 4 a week, that means halfway through the year, roughly you need 104. 26 weeks, right? 4 times 26, 104 contacts. If you wait until June 30th to do your first check on yourself, all right, and you realize you're at 16 instead of 104, that's a big adjustment you got to make, right? Here's the path I'm supposed to be on. I checked and I'm over here. Uh-oh, right? And you know what your mind does? Let's see, it's supposed to be 4 a week, and so I'm supposed to be at 104, and I'm at 16. That is 488 I got to catch up with, plus do the 4 a week for the next weeks that are coming up. Forget it, let me go back to Tendon Bar. Right? I'm out of here. This business, real estate doesn't work for me. All right? If we had checked after the first week and realized that we had done 2 instead of 4, well, you know what? I'm going to get 6 this week, so I'm going to get back on track. If I get 6, now I'll have the 4 for next week and the 2 that I missed this week. Boom. Easy, small correction. Right? Wait till June 30th. Realtors are famous. We set our goals for January 1, and then we don't touch them again until December 28th. Right? We look at them. All right, I wanted to sell 40 homes this year, and I sold 3. Uh-oh. I got 3 days to sell 37. Here we go. Okay? Constantly and consistently evaluate your progress. Can't stress it enough.
Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
I was reading a book recently that did the whole moon thing, you know, with the rocket, and it said in there that they're actually only ever truly on course for 3% of the time because they are consistently like so many degrees to the left. Okay, that's a little over. Go back to the right. No, now hold it. Nope, you need to go to the right. And it said that it's only ever 3% that they're actually on, but they're constantly. I'll give you the name of that book.
I'd love to see that, because and so what we teach in that thing is that if they waited even a day and a half to check their progress, they're done. They're not getting back on track. All right? They've got to stay, because their goal when you go to the moon, you shoot to the moon and you get there and you hopefully get close enough to the moon so you're in its gravitational pull so it sucks you in. Okay? If you're off a little bit and you miss, have a great day. What's the
For going to Mars.
right, exactly. Yeah, a little deviation, right? A little course deviation. Right, what was that? It was Sandra Bullock and what's his name, right? What was that movie?
Gravity.
Yeah, right, gravity. Right, you're gone, right? You're out. And so, hopefully our lives aren't built that if we make a mess up, we can actually correct it. It's not going to cost our lives, right? That's the wrong plan. Let's finish the bridge. I love this one. This is part of actually doing and implementing, is that we're going to finish the bridge. We're going to start a bridge. If I want to get to the other side of the river, I'm going to start a bridge. I'm going to finish the bridge. I'm not going to get excited about, oh, look at Maureen's bridge over there. That's, you know what? I'm halfway done with mine, but the person thinks it's working a little bit better, so I'm going to go back and start building like Maureen's building. And then you start building like, oh, look at, Sherry. Ooh, look at that's really cool. Has sparkles on it. Let me go over and you start doing it. At the end of the year, you have 12 bridges started and none finished. Right? So we want to finish a bridge. Get across. Do it. If you want to build another bridge after that, God bless you. Go do it. All right? But don't build the second one until number 1's finished. Because we put in more effort building 12 half bridges than we do by building 1 solid bridge. Are you with me? And don't get enticed. Oh, that's what they're doing. That's my story, right? First time home buyers, I was working bank-owned properties. I'll talk about that in a second. That's where I made my money. That's where I was getting things done. That's where I was meeting my clients. I didn't like that all of a sudden. I decided I wanted to be the luxury home listing specialist. Okay, you can't get any polar opposite than first-time home buyer bank-owned property. FHA foreclosure, $48,000 home, getting bond money for their down payment assistance and helping them scrape together, roll their nickels to get their rest of their down payment to get in this luxury home specialist. All right? I get out there, fell flat on my face. Flat on my face. Didn't know what the heck I was doing, but it looked good here. They got to dress up. They got to wear a tie. I would never wear a tie at my bank-owned properties because there's no air conditioning. I would sweat to death, right? Guess what? I sold 100 homes a year sitting there sweating to death. I sold 0 homes being the luxury home specialist, okay? Because that bridge looks sexier to me. That's fun. I could drive a Jaguar.
I met Scott Pendleton the other day at my closing, and he said that you sold them their first home in Countryway.
I did.
And he said, Bob showed up in his shorts and his Hawaiian shirt.
That's it.
That's so funny.
That is.
Yeah, he spoke very highly of you, by the way.
Scott's a good guy. Yep. I sold he and his wife. He was actually a restaurant manager at Acropolis at the time when I met him. Yeah. So, so you should go out there and you should go do it. But finish bridges, right? And then finally, learn to develop and play to our strengths. And we watched through the 6 series of Marcus Buckingham, trombone player 1, and Google that if you haven't had a chance to see it. Really good stuff. I learned to play to our strengths. Okay? So that's what we cover. We're constantly doing that. How are we going to grow? How are we going to grow personally? How are we going to feed off the synergy? How are we going to learn from each other? How are we going to live in accountability? How are we going to do this? Because it's so important to do. We teach a lot of classes at our office, and we record them, and we put them on webinars, where agents can just watch on their own. That's cool. All right? We record these, and I did it reluctantly because I want this to be something, you can get a copy of this, but I wanted this to be something that you felt like you missed something if you weren't in the room. All right? Not because of me, but because of you. Right? The group needs each other. This is the one thing, I can teach you how to fill out a FAR contract with a screensaver software. Okay? That I can do. Okay?
Good morning.
All right.
You wait for me?
Yeah, I did. Okay, now we can start. That being said, there's so much dynamic going on between each other. All right, that's where we want to be. All right, so if you missed any of this, you get a chance, when we start up again in February, check it. By the way, in the meantime, if you want to catch up with some of the stuff and follow us along the way, facebook.com/groups the100K Club. You have to be accepted in. There's about 210 members right now. And so because of that, if you want in, we allow you in because, trust me, get 210 realtors in a group, then all of a sudden the lenders, they start smelling it. Title agents start smelling. We don't want people just trolling to see because it's all about how we helping each other. It's just dialogue going back and forth in that live, in that group. So ask for permission to join. We'd love to have you. Okay? Yeah, you can check it out. Do it. See it down there? Facebook.com/the100K Club. All right. Okay. System 1. I taught people how to create business out of thin air. All right. People that didn't have any business going on right now and needed to get business started yesterday. All right. We call this corn planting. The reason we call it corn planting because it's fast. You plant corn late May, early June. You're eating corn by late July. All right. It's very fast. That's the good news about corn. The bad news about corn is to harvest corn, you chop it down. Meaning if I come back to that same field next year, there's no corn because I didn't plant any corn seed. So that's a good way of making money. It's the way I built my real estate career. The bad thing about it is that it never stays done. It was a hamster wheel I couldn't get off. Never stayed done, never stayed done, never stayed. Sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. I would literally take a breath on January 1st. Get up January 2nd, let's go do it all over again. Right? There was no end in sight for me. So we teach this because it's a good way to make money. All right? And it's real inventive. Check this. We said bank-owned open houses. Why bank-owned open houses? It's the magic F word. All right? Foreclosure brings people. I learned my second weekend in the business when I sat a HUD foreclosure open house. First week in the business, I met 3 people at a regular open house. All right? None of them were good. I was taking 10 weeks off during the summer to teach from my teaching job, hoping and praying that real estate was going to be a career for me. 1 weekend gone, 0 homes sold, 0 prospects in the pipeline. Okay? Already started making my geometry lesson plans. All right? So here we go. Going back. I guess I'm going to have to get spitball spat at me. That's what it is. All right? So instead, I said, let me try something different. So I found HUD foreclosure. So I sat at an open house. I met 36 people that day. 36. Found 1. Out of those 36, 1 was a good, legitimate buyer, ready to buy right now, who could qualify. Okay? I met 1. I said, you know what? My math mind said, I met 3, met 0, 36, met 1. I got a better chance with 36. Probability says, I'm a probability guy. I used to went to college in California, and I could go to Vegas with regularity on the weekends. All right? So I know about 7 come 11, baby needs new Ferragamos. All right? Okay? So, that in mind, bank-owned open houses is what we sat. We've got stories of agents. Go to the 100K group page. Agents sitting bank-owned open houses. All right? Reluctantly, 54 people they met. Next weekend, she just told me the update to that story. 36 people in the same house, weekend 2. Okay? Not weekend, day 2, by the way. She did it on Sunday only. All right? People coming in. You think out of 80 people, 90 people, there's a chance that she has some legitimate buyers to work with. Okay? Some of our other agents taking it to a new level. Sherry Lowry's in the room. Sherry and her partner Lee have a booth at the Wagon Wheel Flea Market. And it's all about bank foreclosures, right? Bank-owned properties, foreclosure. People come. Why would you really? People go to the flea market to buy sunglasses and pepper spray, right? Right? They come and they say, "Well, what you do?" Are you meeting people there?
Absolutely.
Okay? I'm just telling you, go where all you're concerned about is traffic. Yeah, but that's not, I got into real estate because I want to have a big billboard, all right, with my face on it, and even have the diamonds on my necklace, glitter. I paid extra to have the little glitter thing, so when people drive by, it'll be like a diamondy. And I wanted to drive an XJ, whatever. Okay? I get it.
Next week, I met them 3 months ago, they were in town, and we're closing November 18th, $260,000.
At the flea market, somebody pays $260. Guess what? You're gonna have well-qualified people at the flea market. You know why? Well-qualified people shop at the flea market.
That's right.
They do. If I can get it for $1 instead of $3, I'm gonna take that extra $2 and put it in the bank. They actually have down payment money. Shock on that. They actually have good credit. There are really those buyers out there that have good credit and down payment. All right? Wow. There are people out there that pay cash for properties.
I have to tell you one more story.
Yeah.
I had a lady stop by last Sunday, and I was sharing with another agent, but I was there in the morning, she went to church, so this lady stopped by and she said, "Hi, how you doing?" And she brought somebody with her, and I'd been sending her emails for about a year, I think, this other woman. And I said, "Well, how's it going with you guys?" And she said, "Oh," and I said, "Did you find anything?" I could kind of tell she found something. And so she said, "But I wanted to bring you my friend." She brought a friend with her, very high investor. He's bought 26 houses over the last year in this county, and he's looking to buy more. We told him about you, and we wanted to bring him here for you to meet. And I said, "Okay." He came up to me and he said, "I have $1 million in cash, and I'm looking to add to my inventory. Anything that'll cash flow, I'll buy it."
At the flea market.
I missed that then. They used his buddy. His buddy got his real estate license, and they
Got
got to go with his buddy.
Right.
She wasn't happy.
Yeah.
I said, "Tell him to turn around," so I put my foot up his behind. She goes, "Yours will have to squeeze next to mine, 'cause mine's already there." She said, she wanted to use it, but anyways, they felt guilty, so they brought their friend.
Exactly. See?
But he's got $1 million cash. This was Sunday morning at about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Telling you guys, go where, that's all these are is about traffic. So we say, "Well, I set one up and it didn't work." All right? Well, it didn't work because maybe the traffic wasn't good. Try a different one. All right? And we talk about through, and we're not going to stay here forever, but we'll teach you how to go get those. Because they're not, all of these people that are sitting in these open houses, they're not listings within our office. They just go call the REOH and say, "Would you mind considering open house?" Well, why would I do that? Well, sometimes you want to tell your asset manager that you're doing everything you can to market this property. All right, so I'll even, if you want, I'll take a picture of the open house sign, and timestamp it so you can send that to your asset manager, show them how hard you're really trying to, get their property sold. It's a win-win, right? I get to, pick up buyers, you get to show them that you're marketing the property everything you can, and we'll make it a great day. All right, how's that sound? It's just, because it's all about the traffic, right? All about the traffic. You have to go 52 turns, all right, winding through 3 roundabouts to get to the open house, probably not a good one. All right, people are going to get lost along the way. All right, you want to have a major intersection with just a couple turns in, and boom. Who is it? I think it was Leslie Wathen was telling us the other day that she does a couple, and they're right up there in the Tampa Basin, so they're off of Del Mabry. And so she goes, they have just a ton of signs, these bank foreclosure, bank open house signs, bank owned open house. And she goes, it's like Sea-Rock City. You guys ever seen the Sea-Rock City when you're traveling? So you start seeing Sea-Rock City from like 532 miles out. Right? She goes, so if to get people to, have time on Dale Mabry, if they're flying along on Dale Mabry, we put them out a mile out, then another 3/4 of a mile, then a half a mile, you know what I mean? It's like here it comes, all right, get in the right lane, give them time to get over, because if you just do one, they're like, we go to Home Depot. Right? Okay, because that's where they're going. They're not planning on looking at a bank-owned open house. They're planning on going to Home Depot. All right, be like, hey, what the heck? Maybe I should check it out. All right? Why? It just works, guys. I'm just telling you. All right? It's not glitzy. It's not fun. I'm not saying it's the best thing to do. Is there anything else I saw the movie Fury. It's the one about the tank battles with Brad Pitt in there. And these guys are just trying, it's pretty graphic. So if you're not in the graphic, don't go see it. But I love World War II. And in there, their motto was, best damn job I ever had. Because that's how they mentally tried to talk themselves through what was going on, because they were scared, right? But they would just get through a battle and they'd all just look around and breathe and just go, best damn job I ever had. All right, just trying to talk themselves through it. All right, so they were admitting, hey, look, this isn't the best. But the cool thing about us is we get to have fun doing what we're doing. We get to control our time, control who we are, control who we work with, and have a lot of fun and potentially make a lot of money so we can do other things with that. Because the other thing we talked about, by the way, if this is your first time, it's not about the money. Okay? It's about a way of life. All right? It's about owning your life again. All right? And doing the things that you were truly put on life here to do. And by the way, you were not put on earth to sell real estate. All right? I'm a firm believer. Right? That whether you believe in God, I do, or a creator, or some magical karma thing, that guess what? You were put on earth for something greater than just selling real estate. It can be a good means to an end to an end. Okay? It can give you the ability to do that, money and time to do that kind of thing, but there's something you're deeper passionate about. Okay? By doing that. We're going to learn, I'm going to teach you, we're going to get better at converting walk-in traffic into business. If I'm going to meet 54 people, that's great, but if I walk out with 0 leads out of 54, time wasted. All right? How am I going to convert those? Remember, our goal is we're going to teach them. We're going to teach people how so that when people leave their open house or they're in contact with them, their thought is, I've met my last realtor. Right? I've met my last. Why would I work with anybody else? They're intelligent, they're knowledgeable, they're fun. All right? Which is hard for some of you. We got to teach that. Okay? Got to loosen up a little bit. All right? They're not looking for somebody in a 3-piece suit at the flea market. In fact, I would probably turn around and run away from somebody in a 3-piece suit at the flea market. Right? So just, have fun with it. Make things happen. We taught people how to become an expert in investor buying. All right? This person, as long as it cash flows, you hear that term that he goes, I got $1 million to spend, I'll buy anything as long as it cash flows. Okay? As long as it cash flows is a very investor-specific term. All right? Long as you can get me at least a 10 cap is a very investor-specific term. If you don't know how to speak that language, come hang with us. We'll show you how to speak that language. All right? Because investors talk their own language, and a good investor can be worth a lot of money to you. All right? Because you're going to help them out. We're going to work first-time home buyers with vigor. I love first-time home buyers. I love them because the other 80% of realtors don't want to work with them. All right? So it narrowed my competition. They're loyal if you treat them right, and they will refer the ever-living bejesus out of you. All right? They will, if you just treat them right and work it hard. Don't pay attention to that corn planting. We call this corn planting conference call because we got so many people interested in this and we didn't have time to cover it all the questions. All right? How many guys were on last Friday? Good, because I wasn't either. All right, I missed it. All right, and that's just a leads thing. I'm done. But tomorrow is Friday. On this one, make a note. All right? Make it, how come you weren't on? All right, that's what I should have said. You never know. If you weren't on, you didn't know that I wasn't on. Right? Two self-evident. Two ons. Tomorrow is going to be 2 p.m. All right? So just one time, it'll be 2 p.m. It's every Friday. We're going to do tomorrow 2 p.m. instead of 10 a.m. Write that number down. It's a free conference call number. Reason is too, because I'm teaching this same class, the Incorporated and 100K in Jacksonville tomorrow during that time. It would be 10 a.m. So just write that number down. We'd love to have you on. And every other Friday after that will be 10 a.m. Now, what do? We just overcome objections. We overcome your problems. Oh, I'd love to sit at a bank-owned open house. I never even thought about it. What do I do? All right, how do I find one? Who's got one out there? What part of town are you looking for? We just dialogue back and forth. Yeah, but I don't have any signs. Who has some extra signs? Anybody, where'd you get your signs? How'd you get them? Oh, I just made mine at Home Depot. I got the regular open house signs, and I stuck a little, corrugated thing on the top said bank owned, and it works just great. Okay, that's the kind of stuff we're overcoming problems. Here you go. And now, and so what we're doing is I'm really just taking your excuses and removing them. All right. Oh yeah, I'd love to sit there, but I'm not so sure if it would. Okay, remove that excuse. What's next? Give us your next one. Yeah, okay, we got rid of that one now. What's next? We just keep removing excuses until you either click off the conference call, all right, or you say I'm going to do one. Okay, make it happen. All right. Then we went into planting an orange grove. Planting corn is cool, but it's the hamster wheel. All right. How about an orange grove? An orange grove is kind of cool because let me tell you the bad news about an orange grove first. The bad news about the orange grove is that it takes a longer time to develop. Right? It's not as quick as corn. All right. Matter of fact, you put a lot of effort into oranges on the front side, They're little saplings, you gotta take care of them, and they're not producing any fruit. So you're putting all this effort in, making sure it's fertilized, watered, nurtured, and everything else, and then nothing's coming out. Like, what the heck, it's a waste of time. So it takes a little more long-term vision to see that, right? But the good news about oranges is once it starts to produce, you pick the fruit, and you don't cut down the tree. It's there. So eventually, I'd love for all of us to be living in an orange grove, and down the road, living on an orange grove with a plantation house up there, and you're sitting on the porch sipping an iced tea while someone else is picking the oranges, and you say, hey, you know what? I get it. You're an independent contractor. You should pay me 25% after whatever you sell that orange for. All right? That's, my friends, how you can make a business out of real estate. How do I make a business out of real estate? How do I get off the hamster wheel? That way. All right? You want to do that. Because I lived my whole real estate career in the cornfield. It was great. It was lucrative. All right? But it still was a cornfield. Now, the way I made my orange grove was create a real estate company. All right? And you can do that as well. Bring it on. I love competition. Let's go. All right? Nice guy. I'm a nice guy. Okay. All right. So we're going to teach you how to plant an orange grove. But you can make a business out of your real estate business. You really can. And we'll teach you how to do it. Okay, first of all, I'm going to give you, I think, 7 or 8 points here. All right? Write these down. I rarely ask you to write anything down in this class. Write these down. If you live your life this way, this is 100K in a nutshell. If you missed all these classes, we're going to wrap it up for you right here. All right? Wake up here each day and treat your business like a business. Period. What am I going to do today to enhance my business? Now, closely held to that as point number 2 was get up each day and live on purpose. All right? What is my purpose for today? Am I just here being blown by the wind, taking whatever next fire needs to be put out according to the transactions that I've got going? All right? If no one called and said that there are live termites on the termite inspection, I wouldn't have anything to do. All right? Now, do we have to react to that fire sometimes? Yeah. Okay? Does it put us out of commission when it happens? No. All right? Because I have a designated time that I'm going to fire put out. All right? And guess what? If I have no fires, that's an extra hour I get to just chill out and relax. All right? But I'm going to designate an hour, 45 minutes, half an hour to fire suppression. All right? I'm not going to jump and get up out of a important meeting to go take that call. I'm going to say, you know what? I bet you they'll live if I call them back in 2.5 hours. I bet. There are exceptions to that. I keep an eye on my phone for my children's school and my wife. She knows when I'm teaching, and then Jeanette, and she knows when I'm teaching, and you know she probably will call me unless it's something major. I didn't correctly call her Jeanette. Okay. All right. I saw you eyeball me. All right.
There are
Yeah, I know. I appreciate it. I give you accountability.
There are tangerines back there still.
Yeah, right. All right. We're going to get up each day, but if you did that, literally, got up each day, and I'm going to live, and you know what? It could be my purpose for today is for the first 3 hours, I'm real estate Bob. All right? After that, for the next hour and a half, I'm Daddy Bob because I'm taking cupcakes to Samuel's school because it's his birthday. All right? And after that, I'm going back to real estate Bob for an hour, and then I'm going to be Coach Bob because now it's time to go coach soccer. All right? But on purpose with that, right? I've got a plan to each of that, and there's important designs to each purpose-driven thing. All right, to borrow the title of a book you should read, by the way. Purpose-Driven Life, Rick Warren, great book. 7 Levels of Communication. This is a book where everybody have it right there. Okay? Michael Mayer. This book right here will change the way you look at real estate. It'll change the way you look at your life, to be honest with you. I kind of taught from this book before without even reading the book. So much so that the guy I was teaching this to in Jacksonville swore that I had read the book, and he's the one that turned me on to the book, because he says everything you're teaching from that book. Here's what we do. Michael Mayer, M-A-H-E-R, 7 Levels of Communication. You're going to learn a couple things in this book. It is, in my opinion, the most easy to read, sensible, logical roadmap to success in a real estate business. Really is. All right? If you applied even a third, 20% of the principles that he teaches in there, you wouldn't know what to do with the business. You wouldn't. Michael Mayer is a well-known author, but now he's also he lives in Atlanta and sells 150 homes a year in Kansas City. That, my friends, is an orange grove. Okay? That is an orange grove. He's got a team that sells in his name in Kansas City while he's living in Atlanta, writing more books, traveling around, doing seminars, and making money that way. Okay? Why not follow that path? I'm not saying you have to go there, but why not follow, how did he create that orange grove? He's willing to teach. Read the book. It's awesome. What you're going to learn in there is a couple things. First of all, consistently monitor progress. Right? We're not going to let ourselves just live willy-nilly. We're not going to wait until June 30th to check our progress. We're going to do it on a consistent basis, and we'll show you how. Part of that is the 4 rituals. Hopefully those of you who've been around should know the 4 rituals. We have our morning ritual. Our morning ritual includes affirmations. All right, we have Deanne Nelson, the affirmation queen in the room. All right, that is committed to doing that. Affirmations are just positive reflections about you to you. If you don't believe in yourself, why would a client? Agreed? If you don't believe they've met their last realtor because I'm the best realtor that's out there, why would they say, I've met my last realtor? Are you with me? Talk about that personal growth, and that's part of it. Affirmations. Also part of our morning ritual is eating right and exercising. We're huge on that here. I'm a firm believer that I feel better about myself, and I think people are more attracted to me, and because when I walk with my head held higher, and when I bend over, my pants don't rip. That's just me. When I walk out the door knowing that I was disciplined this morning in my hotel room when I did my P90X3, all right, DVD on my thing, even though I didn't want to, all right, and Tony Horton said, good job at the end. I said, you know what, that's good, I did it. All right, I'm on a row here at the Courtyard by Marriott right over here, and I bet you I'm probably one of the top 5%. I don't know if anybody else 5% is doing P90X3 right now, all right, in the Courtyard. All right, at least top 5% of the Courtyard attendees. All right, but I walked out feeling better about myself. I walked out feeling better about myself because I knew I was going to bring oranges and bananas. Somebody snuck in candy over there. Who snuck in candy? No one wants to admit. All right. Okay, oranges, bananas, and nuts. You're the candy sneaker. You got to get it out of your house, right? That's right. You got to get it out of your house. That's cool. All right. Okay, you can take some with you on the way. Small doses. You're all right. Okay, but we're all about, that's all part of our morning rituals because we want to live. You know what? If we learn to look at food as fuel as opposed to just something I crave, all right, if we learn to eat to live rather than live to eat, right, then it changes the way they, and this is hard for me. I'm just telling you, I struggle with this every day of the year, all right? My tongue is attracted to carbs. I'll tell you flat out. Give me something with a bun on it, I'm all about it. Okay, you heard about it's all about the base. It's all about the bun. Okay, all right for me. All right, it's if it has a bun on it, I'm in. So I got to fight myself, constantly say, hey, no. All right, I'm not going to do it. So that's part of the morning ritual. Affirmations, eating right, getting out. You're organized from the night before. You know what you're going to wear the next day. You're attacking the day. You're up and you're gone. One of the next rituals he teaches is what he calls the pre-leave ritual. This is the best thing ever. The pre-leave ritual is before you leave. I put desk around quotes here because I know realtors. Your desk is your laptop, right? Your desk for that day when you're ready to leave your desk could be closing it up at Starbucks. It could be closing it up at your office. It could be closing it up at your breakfast nook. It could be closing it up at your breakfast bar. Wherever that is, that's your desk. Before you close up, you're going to write what we call a first and 10. And a first and 10 is the first things I need to do tomorrow. Okay? With phone numbers attached or emails attached of people I know I need to email, whatever the case is, because getting them off your mind means going to clear it. I'm good till tomorrow. Because if not, it's in your mind when you're now supposedly at your kid's baseball game. You're supposed to be watching his game, and all you're thinking about is, boy, what I didn't get that phone call made. Right? So you're not engaged where you need to be engaged. So we teach, get that off your mind, get it on there, and tomorrow, guess what? You're going to be so much productive when you walk in the morning next morning, because you know what you're going to do before? Before you're going to spend the first 30 minutes trying to figure out what you're supposed to do. I remember I was supposed to make some, what were those, you know what I mean? Whereas in 30 minutes, you're going to have it done. It's going to be done already. All right? So that's really cool. That pre-leave ritual is so important. It's tidying up office, making sure, because you're going to sleep better knowing that you're organized. Agreed? Okay? It's just the way it is. From there, he goes to what he calls the pre-sleep ritual. This is number 3. Pre-sleep ritual. I call it prayer. Other people call it meditation. Other people can call it whatever. Okay? Reflection time. Just sit down 5 minutes. All right? Sit there and decompress a little bit. Let your mind wind down. All right? You're upset about who won what at the CMA Awards. I get it. Okay? All right? So just, all right? Calm yourself a little bit. Reflect some. See how you do a quick mini inventory of your day. I do. I say, you know what? Well, here was good. Here was bad. There's some things I could have improved on. All right? There are times that I've gotten up and actually added things to my first and 10 as I reflected. A lot of times I need to call them and apologize. All right? Because I probably spoke out of turn and said this, you know what I mean? And I don't want to sleep that way because it'll wear on me as I sleep. All right? So I'll just get up and say, you know, write a quick little note on that or whatever. Okay? Get it off. It's out. It's out of my mind on paper. Now I can sleep well. So it just takes 5 minutes, guys. All right? 5 minutes to do that. And the final one is he calls the Sunday night ritual. All right? And that's just that I'm going to plan my week. All right? Let's attack the week and let's have a plan for this week. Is it perfect? No. Is it going to change? Yes. All right? But is it going to be perfect or is it going to change if you don't plan it? Yes. All right? So why not at least have a game plan going forward so you can kind of analyze and check it out. Have it just, hey, I know there's certain things I need to do. I'm going to plan in things like we'll call hour power and things like that. We're actually going to make some business generating phone calls, have some contacts and all that kind of stuff without any other interruptions. Cool? All right? 4 rituals. Give massive value first. Okay? This is probably Michael's slogan. Michael being the author of the book. That we joke about this, and I know some of you, this is old hat, so please forgive me. I'm so tired of people trying to teach real estate agents that you're going to talk to people and at the end of every sentence say, by the way, you or anybody know looking to buy or sell real estate? Hated that. Okay? You know why you hated doing it? Because you would hate it being done to you. You'd feel used and abused, and when you would have had a conversation with you just so you can get to that line, didn't you? Right? That was the kicker. You wanted to get there, and all that stuff I just told you about my aunt's in the hospital, my mom's struggling, and this, that, and the other, you were nodding and saying, uh-huh, and you got through it, just waiting for a pause so I can say, by the way, you're literally buy or sell real estate. Okay? This flips that whole thing upside down. Your job is to wake up each day and say, who can I help? I'm going to go give massive value first, right? I'm looking for people that I can help. I'm going to give massive value first, and that, my friends, you'll read about in the book, starts the generosity cycle. Because when you're generous, it leads to reciprocity. Reciprocity leads to referrals. Referrals lead to profitability for you, and profitability eventually leads to prosperity for you. And the more prosperous you are, then you can be even more generous, and the cycle starts all over again. It's an incredible concept. Give massive value first. Then we talk about the teeter-totter. All right? I throw massive value at somebody, they're sitting like this side, like, uh-oh, man, I got to get some of this back. Because they don't like that feeling. And whether they voice it or not, they actually give you referrals. That's not what you asked for, but you get it because you were doing the right thing. Okay? Read the book. It's incredible in there. Have a referral goal, not a sales goal. And a referral goal is not it's a 2-part goal. It's how many referrals am I going to give and how many am I going to receive. All right? I'm just telling you, these ones, how many I got to now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 3, 4, 6, 7 so far. Okay? Take a snapshot. Ask me for this PowerPoint. Take a snapshot, blow it up, and put it on your mirror. All you need to do. Okay? I'm just telling you, there's nothing else. You don't need to go pay $3,622 for a Tom Ferry seminar. All right? Come here and pay us nothing, and let me show you how to do this. Use the one script I would challenge you to memorize. Okay? And when I say memorize, internalize this. You guys haven't been here before. Those of you who haven't been here before. What's the number one question when people say, oh, you're a realtor?
Well, how is the market?
How's the market? Every time, right? It's like clockwork. I can guarantee about 93% of the time I'm going to get the question, how's the market? And you know what we say? Here, somebody tells, we're supposed to trick everybody and saying it's the greatest thing ever. Oh, it's great! Okay? Or, I don't know, or, it's okay. We don't have an answer for it. If we're going to get that question every time, why not have a prepared answer that's going to lead you to a referral conversation? Check this, okay? Somebody, Sherry, ask me how the market.
How's the market?
The market's the market. It's kind of like the ocean. It ebbs and flows. I've learned I can't control it. I just try and navigate it as best I can. But the thing I'm most excited about is that I'm 32% of the way to my referral goal this year.
What?
Yeah, referral. Oh, I didn't tell you. Check this. You know what? We're doing some really cool things at our office, but I'm a realtor, and my goal for this year is to give 100 referrals to people, help them solve a problem, and receive 50. So, hey, you know what? I'm not there yet. What can I help you with? What's your biggest challenge right now?
Getting organized, having another system.
You know what? I got to introduce you. I just got a card. This lady, Shelly, all right? She's awesome. You know what it's called? She is an office organizer, okay? Creating functional office space. You should give Sherry a call, right? As a matter of fact, give me your number. I'm going to call her and have her call you. Boom. Okay? Done. So if you are serious about that, she does do it. Here's your card. Very good. You got to get together with her. All right? So it just leads to referral conversations, right? That is such a beautiful way. It's not, hey, let's just blow smoke up their backside and say things are great. You know what I mean? Because it's awesome. And you start having this referral conversation with people all of a sudden out of nowhere, right? But it's not out of nowhere because you were prepared for it. That's the one script I beg you to internalize. I don't say memorize. Internalize. Because the way I say it's going to be different than the way you say it. You need to make it sound like you, not me. Okay? Utilize personal notes. We call them power notes. By the way, each of these things are designed to differentiate you from the other 12,632 current realtors in the Tampa Bay area. Okay? Oh, sorry, 12,633. Oh, I'm sorry, 12,634. Because it's adding right now, about every 10 seconds, we're adding a new agent. All right? So that's why I tell people all the time, make sure on Realty we have 750 agents. I thought, 760 agents. I thought it was 750. Oh, you're so 3 days ago. All right? We're growing. Okay? We're on the move. All right. Personal notes, handwritten note. Hey, I was just thinking about you. I was driving by a ballet school, and I remember your daughter was taking ballet for the first time this year. How's that going? Period. P.S. Give me a call sometime. Something I want to run by you. Boom. Not P.S. By the way, after I bluffed BS my way about the ballet school, whatever, do you or anybody know looking to buy or sell real estate? Here's a stack of my cards. Please hand them out. Okay? It's the last thing they want, right? They don't want that. They want you to call and say, hey, I was just driving by the ballet school. Even better. Because it's 7 levels of communication, you learn when you start talking to them now, as opposed to handwriting a note, you're moving up the pyramid of communication. All right? And the higher you move up, now you're getting the influential zone. You start talking to people and remembering that their daughter takes ballet, game over. Hashtag game over. All right? Hashtag for the win, FTW. All right? It's all it takes. All right? So just remember that. Open the door, step out, and improve the lives of others. How can I help people today? All right? Improve the lives of others and make them your ambassadors. You'll understand the term ambassador when you're there. Ambassadors will be people that will put people in a headlock and drag them to your booth at the flea market and say, you got to use Sherry. If you've got $1 million to spend, all right, you got to use Sherry. She's the realtor for you. That's an ambassador. All right? That's what you want. That, my friends, is an orange tree. Okay? Is when you have an ambassador that's doing that. That right there is what we do. Okay? That's it in a nutshell. All right? It's a pretty simple process. Get the book. If you don't have the book, and reread it. Now, in the interim, this is our last one. All right? Here's what we're going to do. Stay engaged in the 7L, the 100K group page. We're going to start trying to plant some ideas out there. By the way, I forgot to do this. Everybody, November and December, historically in my own real estate career, busiest times of my calendar year. Do not go back to an office or read an article in FARS magazine or Florida Realtors, not an association of realtors, or Florida Realtors magazine, all right, or anything else that says, you know what, no one buys after Thanksgiving. BS. I sold more houses after Thanksgiving, my first full year of real estate, than I ever had in any other month. You know why? Realtors are by nature lazy. They get real lazy in December. Go take it from them. I did. I told you about the two guys chirping at me. Remember the guys from the Muppet Show? They were chirping at me when I was young, 25 years old in business. They never sold anything, but they loved to chirp, right? And they told me, oh, nothing sells after Thanksgiving. You better just pack it in. I was like, dude, I got a mortgage payment to make. Have a nice day. I'm not listening. I literally put my fingers in my ears. And they were laughing at me. What are you doing? It doesn't matter. You don't have to listen. I said, truth is the truth. I said, you know what? I bet you every realtor thinks like that. So I did. Literally, after Thanksgiving, I put 9 properties under contract and closed them before the end of the year. And they were small. You know why I did it? Here's my shtick. I met people back then. This dated me. We had a $25,000 homestead tax exemption. I was selling $38,000 homes that were assessed for $27,000. Okay. I said, hey, look, if we close by the end of the year, you need to close so we can get this $25,000 homestead exemption in place by December 31st, so you can I can get your taxes down to like 38 cents, whatever the tax is on $2,000, right? I said, so we got to close by December 31st. Got to close. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I got my lenders on board. We pushed. We pushed. We pushed. We got them done. 9. Well, there are nothing sells after Thanksgiving. All right. Screw you. All right. Don't fall into that trap. Don't. Oh, let me wait till January and I'll start this fresh. BS. All right. A good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan never executed. Go do it. All right? Make it happen. Cool? Stay in touch. We'll keep in mind. I want to try and see if we can put together some groups that will meet in the interim too, because I don't want to lose this momentum. So if you got some momentum going, I highly encourage it. We're going to try and put some get-togethers around so you have that. If nothing else, mark November 19th on your calendar. Any questions I can answer for you before we head out?
The phone planning conference call,
Yep.
is it now every other week?
No, it'll be every week. And this week, Friday, it's 2 o'clock.
Right, yeah.
Okay? After that, it'll be 10 a.m. Eastern time.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Yep. So every week, this one 2, everything else after that will be 10. Cool? Other questions? All right. Go get them. All right. See you, Maureen. Have a great day. If you need anything, let me know. Always email me. If you want to email a copy of the PowerPoint, you can see that. You can talk to Jim if you want a copy of the actual video of this or any past classes as well.
What time is it, 19th and where?
19th, 9:30, Hilton Garden Inn.
Someone somewhere.
And the email will be coming out either tonight or tomorrow for registration.
Slight Edge by Jeff Olson.
Slight edge.
I had it in a box in my closet.
Yeah.
I don't know how long. Honest to God, I don't even know
Probably
where I
where I got the trip to the moon concept to begin from.
And it's, I went to open it and I'm thinking, boy, I don't think I've ever read this. It's kind of like new.
That's funny. I'm still cracking when you open it.